Good afternoon, Adachi-san.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for visiting us, as you do every year.
Yeah.
Horiba is in the middle, I think, of a kind of global transformation internally, if I'm correct. You are one of the companies that really tries to be truly global.
Yeah.
How is it going on? How is it progressing?
Well, we have, in the worldwide, we have probably a little more than 8,000 headcounts. And, more than 60% is already non-Japanese.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, in other words, Japanese is a minority. And also inside that, we have probably a little more than 1,000 headcount in France. This is due to our history of investment to France. And so we are still continuing to expand globally. And also our sales the ratio between Japan and the other part of the world is actually probably 70% is outside of Japan.
Really?
30%, yeah, so we are pretty much globalized company, and so there will be no going back. So yeah.
I guess the challenge for a company like you, which is doing within the manufacturing, of course, in Monozukuri, you have to have a kind of a coherence. You have to be united. So in a Japanese context, it's pretty easy because you have to apply a strategy. In a globalized context with more than 50% people who are foreigners, how can you maintain such integrity?
Well, that's a real nice question for us because we have a pretty different way of approaching to be, global manufacturing company. We have a pretty much distributed capability for R&D, engineering, and production all over the world. Some of the company want to centralize manufacturing in a relatively cheap labor country and also do the R&D in Japan and make the product actually, one way to export to the global market. But we don't do that because we put more weight on customization with the customer. That needs to be physically close to the customers for the customization. When it comes to like a regulation-oriented product or some kind of regional dependency can be only handled in a local operation. And so, we make a global context, global part of the product in the center of excellence, mainly in Japan, but some of those are maybe in France or in the States. And we have an engineering capability spread in the world, and so this global core technology product can be modified in the local place. And so I think for us it's really important to not centralize, but distribute and have a more highly added value product and adjust it to the customer.
So you're in the CO2 testing business, basically, right? Do you view government and region have more and more different approaches?
Yeah, well, when it comes to like automotive exhaust emission, not only CO2 but also many other kinds of emissions. And that's true. Yes, there is a regional dependency. Although they want to harmonize the regulation worldwide because Japan regulation, US regulation, EU regulation were totally different, and so that was a nightmare for car companies. If they want to release one car, they have to adjust to many different regulations. But harmonization of such a regulation and the certification process can make very good benefit for the automotive car manufacturers. So at this moment, the kind of transition period for the harmonization of those kind of things. But even if you can be successful in harmonizing all the test procedure and the regulation, but I think still there will be something remaining for the local engineering to satisfy each customer. And so our business model of having global portion and local portion separate and also balance and communicate. I think that's the way to go for our business.
Because when you look at the latest G7 on energy, we see very different approach. Japan has a more, let's say, industrial approach with several solutions, hybrid, electric. Europe is much more politically pushy. It seems Japan trusts more the industrial. For a company like yours, is it a problem, such a diversity of approach?
Well, of course, if there's only one solution for everything, that makes us easy. But for us, it can be an opportunity to collaborate with each customer differently, and so that having such engineering, local engineering, we are probably only one company that is doing this and make a clear difference against a competitor. And so,
you mean localizing?
Yeah, localization. So for the customer point of view, even Horiba is a name in Japan, but for many of the customers, see us like a local company. And so whatever they want, they just locally communicate, and we make adjustment and customization locally there. And so our customer can feel very comfortable. It's really not sending the system back to Japan and modify and sending back, or you have to convey your local demand to Japan and wait for R&D in Japan, and then we deliver, taking long time to deliver such thing. So this flexibility is really the key for the high value-added business.
Does such a globalization or localization, as we say, is it good for you in terms of hiring of human resources? Because most companies have trouble in hiring engineers, young engineers, especially in Japan. Is it a good position to be global in philosophy?
Yeah, especially I used to be an engineer, and I really enjoy working together directly with the customer. If you have to come up with like a global consolidated specification, and you just make your product, develop your product according to such a definition, it's kind of it's really not exciting. But if you work together, one-on-one with a customer, and the customer has a very specific demand and in a new idea, and our engineer can also enjoy making this new idea come true with this specific customized only one solution to your own customer. That's actually our spirit of joy and fun of the company.
Are you worried in general about Japanese industry? Do you think they are not global? They are not globalizing fast enough?
I think there are some similar company. I think. But at the same time, I think there are companies that want to centralize and work on more cost down, and doing some price war. It's a red ocean business model, and in such a business model, you really have to look for the cheapest place to make them, and control the quality is also becoming very difficult in such a business model.
Adachi-san, thank you very much.
Thank you.